Breaking news! Things are getting sorted out behind the scenes at the Denver Broncos, and Sean Payton has done something that has caused waves in the league, in a way that has even left rival teams envious. If there was any doubt about the direction this franchise is heading, recent conversations with Sean Payton have erased them all. I'll tell you everything we learned. But first, make sure you've already hit the like button if you agree with me that Bo Nix should stay with the Broncos in 2025. Man, seriously, we can't lose him under any circumstances. I believe the board has already taken precautions against this. I hope so. If possible, comment like this: Bo Nix should stay with the Denver Broncos. Now, come with me. The energy, confidence, and sheer belief in what's being built at the Broncos is undeniable. And if you weren't already excited for the future, buckle up, because this is just the beginning of a new era for our beloved team. One of the biggest takeaways from the recent media conversations is how often the Broncos are being talked about, even when they shouldn't be in the spotlight. At NFL Media Day, outside of the Chiefs and Eagles, no team was mentioned more than the Denver Broncos. And that's not just Broncos country being overly optimistic, the entire league feels it. Denver hit rock bottom, but instead of staying down, they bounced back with the force of a Super Bowl bouncing off concrete. That's the kind of trajectory we're seeing under Sean Payton. It wasn't long ago that some in the fan base were nervous about Payton's tone following the team's postseason press conference. He seemed frustrated, still carrying the sting of that Buffalo Bills loss, and some wondered if that meant doubts were creeping in about their quarterback. But now, Payton is back to exuding that signature confidence, and he made it abundantly clear: Bo Nix is the guy. Payton's interview with Kay Adams was a must-watch for any Broncos fan, and his enthusiasm for Nix was on full display. The narrative that Nix was simply a check-down king with limited arm strength, completely dismissed. Payton spoke about Nix's escapability, his mobility, and, most importantly, his arm strength, calling it fantastic. That's coming from a coach who spent years maximizing the latter years of Drew Brees' career. Payton knows how to work with quarterbacks, and when he says that Nix has the tools to be successful, you listen. And then came the moment that should give every Broncos fan chills. With his usual calm but confident demeanor, Payton looked Kay Adams dead in the eye and said, "We're going to be a problem." He wasn't speculating. He wasn't making a bold prediction just for the sake of headlines. He was stating a fact. This team is built to cause problems for the rest of the NFL, and he knows it. Payton also pointed out that the Broncos outplayed the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. That's not just something to casually overlook. The Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champions, the team that has owned the AFC West for years, struggled against Denver in their own house. That is a sign of things to come. Another major takeaway from the interview was Payton's emphasis on needing a joker position in the offense. Whether that player comes from the running back or tight end position, it's a must-have for this system. But one thing was clear: wide receiver isn't the primary concern. He made that clear when he said the Broncos are stronger at receiver than some would think. That should put to rest any mock drafts predicting Denver to take a receiver with their first pick. Payton highlighted the growth of Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, and Devin Vele, showing that the young talent in the receiver room is already proving itself. And then there's Courtland Sutton, who was recently named as one of the top 3 wide receivers in the NFL by Chiefs cornerback Trent McDuffie. Think about that. A division rival just put Sutton in the same category as Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the Broncos' receiver talent, nothing will. But it's not just the talent on the field that's making waves. It's the chemistry and culture Payton is building. While some coaches maintain a strict distance from their players, Payton is out on vacation, golfing with Bo Nix, Jarrett Stidham, and Zach Wilson. That's not just a coach-player relationship. That's a leader who truly connects with his team. Players want to play for him. They believe in him, and that translates to results on the field. Even Vic Fangio, a coach who has no reason to praise the Broncos, recently acknowledged that Sean Payton is going to bring Denver back to the Super Bowl. That's a statement from someone who isn't known for handing out compliments lightly. Of course, there have been losses on the coaching staff, key assistants have left, and some may see that as a setback. But Payton isn't fazed. His confidence isn't shaken. He knows exactly what he's building, and nothing is going to derail that process. So now it's your turn, Broncos country. How do you feel about Sean Payton's vision? Are you as hyped as we are about Bo Nix and the direction of this team? Let's hear your thoughts. Drop a comment and let's talk about it. And if you think that's the end of the excitement surrounding this team, think again. Sean Payton isn't just talking, he's backing it up with action. The Broncos front office is moving with intention, and every decision being made is pointing toward one thing: competing for a championship. One of the most overlooked aspects of what's happening in Denver right now is how Payton is shaping the roster. He's not interested in flashy, short-term fixes. He's not chasing big-name free agents just to make headlines. He's constructing a team with a specific identity, one that can dominate in the long run. And that starts with finding the right pieces in the right places. The Joker position he talked about is a prime example. In his offensive system, this is a player who can be moved around, create mismatches, and become a nightmare for defenses. He's looking for someone dynamic, whether it's a tight end or a running back, who can stretch the field, take pressure off Bo Nix, and force defenses to respect every inch of the field. That's a game changer, and it's clear Payton sees it as a missing piece to unlocking the full potential of this offense. But let's go back to the quarterback situation because that's where things get really interesting. There's been so much speculation about whether the Broncos would draft a quarterback, trade for one, or stick with what they had. Payton has put all of that to rest. Bo Nix is the guy. Not only did Payton praise him publicly, but he also took him on a trip. You don't do that with a quarterback you don't believe in. Now, some people might ask, what about Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson? The fact that Payton included them in that trip shows something even bigger. He's fostering competition. He wants every quarterback in that room to push each other, to fight for every rep, and to bring out the absolute best in each other. That's how championship teams are built. You don't hand anything to anyone, you make them earn it. And speaking of earning it, let's talk about the receivers again. When Payton said that Denver is stronger at the position than most people think, he wasn't just throwing out coach speak, he was making a statement. Courtland Sutton is being recognized by players across the league as one of the top receivers in the game. Marvin Mims has shown flashes of explosive playmaking ability. Troy Franklin is developing chemistry with Bo Nix, and Devin Vele is bringing another level of skill to the unit. The reason this matters so much is because of what it says about the Broncos' offensive philosophy. They're not just looking to add talent for the sake of it. They're looking to build a unit that works together seamlessly. When a coach like Sean Payton is this confident in his weapons, it means he sees something special that others might not yet recognize. And then there's the defense. While the offense is getting a lot of attention, we can't forget about what's happening on the other side of the ball. Losing coaches is never easy, but Payton's confidence in his staff and his ability to reload rather than rebuild is crucial. This team isn't worried about setbacks. They're focused on solutions. The best part? The rest of the NFL knows it. That's why you keep hearing the Broncos being mentioned in conversations where they normally wouldn't be. That's why rival teams and analysts are starting to take notice. This isn't just a team trying to be competitive. This is a team that believes it can win, and that belief is infectious. Think about what we've seen so far: Payton's unwavering confidence, the development of Bo Nix, the recognition of Courtland Sutton as one of the best in the league, the emergence of young playmakers, and the clear vision for how to build a winner. This isn't blind optimism. This is a team that knows exactly where it's headed. And that leads to the biggest question. Are you ready for it, Broncos country? Do you believe in this vision? Do you see what Sean Payton sees? Because if you do, then you know what's coming. This team is going to be a problem, and it's only a matter of time before the rest of the league realizes just how big of a problem that will be. So let's hear it. How confident are you in the future of the Denver Broncos? Are you buying into what Sean Payton is building? Drop a comment, let's get the conversation going, and let's ride.